call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let the record reflect that all board members are present. I'm looking for an approval of the agenda. I'd like to amend the agenda for 10A. It has the, I just want to add the school student board report on there versus the chairperson report. So I'll make that motion. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. So election of officers is next. So I'll start out with the first one. First, we should probably decide if we want to keep co-chairs or do a chair, vice chair. And then we'll take nominations for those. Whether we do co-chairs would be 2 nominations, or a chair, vice chair would be chair nomination and then vice chair nomination separately. I know we said we talk about it each year, so. Thoughts?
I think that co-chair thing is better than chair, your vice chair.
Okay,
That's my personal opinion, because when we have 2 people, if maybe not this board, but if a board in the future ever gets to a point where they feel like, or if they decide it's not being heard, it might be a way that they get heard.
Hmm.
You know, in the event that one's gone, the other one's there. I don't know, since we got the paperwork done and everything else, that's what I have to say, is we should stay with that, unless somebody wants to convince me otherwise. I'm fluid on it too, so I was, when we were in this a year ago, I didn't know how it was gonna work, and it's worked out really good. Maybe it won't always work better, but.
Yeah.
So,
how do you two feel on that?
yeah, there you go.
Feel it went good. If I were to be elected as co-chair, I would maybe run a meeting every now and then, just because Ryan does a great job at it. But I feel like if he's gonna be gone, I'm not good at it. So maybe just to get.
Maybe one that's not got anything real serious.
Yeah, but you know, just once in a while even.
Yep.
Just. So, like I said, he's got him not stumbling around. Try to think.
All right. Anything from this side?
I agree with the co-chairs, a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Just think for the commitment of the role. I think it's nice to share the
That,
responsibility.
that is nice to yeah.
And that too, I feel like I could probably do a little bit more now that I'm a little bit comfortable.
Yeah.
sounds good to me. I will take nominations for co-chair, so I'll ask 3 times and then close nominations. And do that. So do we have a nomination for co-chairs?
I will nominate Brian Hofstad and Ellen Holm for co-chair.
I'll accept.
Point of order,
Yep.
do they maybe against us passing unanimous ballot or keeping the officers the same?
Say that again?
You can bypass this and pass the unanimous ballot and just keep everybody the same if you want to.
We can't, it would have to be nominated that way, and
It
then,
has to be nominated first.
yep, so
Okay,
when we nominate, we either have to vote if there's 2 different nominations. If there's one, we don't have to vote because it's by acclamation that there is only the one and we're accepting it.
Okay.
All Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? All right, I will close nominations then, and so Hofstad and Holm will do that. You want to run the rest of this one?
Next year.
No problem. No problem.
Like all that branch of course on it.
No, all good. So clerk. So John is our current clerk. Are there any nominations for clerk?
I'll nominate John Andrews as clerk.
Okay. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? All right, I will close nominations and congratulations again, John. More signatures.
Yeah, I'm getting good at it.
Treasurer, do I have any nominations for treasurer?
I'll nominate Maria Troll.
Okay. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? All right, we'll close nominations for treasurer. Congratulations, Maria. Another year of signatures, which is super helpful as we go down the rest of the schedule and have to put in the same chair and the same treasurer for the bank account, so we don't have to change that. But we do have to go in and sign if you haven't already. All right, setting regular meeting dates and times. Do we want to keep the second Monday?
That works well for me.
It's fine for me as well.
Me too.
I'm good.
Okay. So we will say February 10th. March 10th,
February 9th,
Yeah.
what's that?
February 9th, or is that holiday?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at Tuesdays. Thank you. We'll say February 9th, March 9th. April 13th. May 11th. June 8th. July 13th. August 10th. September 14th. October 12th. We'll have to look at that one, make sure we do that one. November 9th. And December 14th. It look quick.
Yeah. Do we have trouble with the December meeting running into Christmas program?
I was just checking, I think that actually the November one, we have it set for our band concert that night. Yeah, November 9th. December,
The only one that's a real catch-22 is that one's got a truth in taxation on it, because then you can't. You gotta know when that is, and you can't change that.
what was the December one again? The-
14.
I
14th.
think we currently have that as our quiet concert for.
All right. It is, if you guys are good with it, I'd like to just keep it this way, and then as we get closer, we can do that because it's September. That we have the first truth and taxation, where we have to say where we're gonna do it, when we're gonna do it, and all that stuff. When we set the sort of time limit, so I think as long as we do that, we can change it December 1 to that, and then the November 1, if that does conflict, then we can.
I'm 99% sure that's our night of the band. So.
Okay, but I won't know what I'm doing in November until at least October, so I think that'll work. If you guys are all good with that?
Yep.
All right, does somebody want to make that motion?
Don't.
All right, thank you,
I'll second.
Mr. Andrews, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next one is setting of compensation for directors. So I have two things for this one. One is I'm the only one not getting paid to go to mid-state out of all the board members that are there. So I think we need to add something for mid-state, to do that, because I had 29 meetings there this year and probably quite a few more phone calls, for that. And then if we're doing co-chairs, are we splitting the 500? Those are the two questions.
I would splitting the co-chairs stipend, or the chair stipend.
What are others receiving for the mid-state?
Like we used to, it was $50 for me, for most of them. And this year will be a little bit less for sure, because there was 8 of those were negotiation meetings. But otherwise, it's basically 2 a month. For, both, we do a policy and a agenda setting, and then the regular meeting. That's the normal thing.
I'll make a motion to add a $500 stipend for the lead state or.
Okay. So you want to do the full motion? That sounds something like, current compensation is gonna be set at $2,500 a year per board member.
Sure.
The co-chairs receive an additional $250 a year stipend. And, the mid-state representatives, it's a $500 stipend. And half the amount will be given in June 2026 and January 2027.
That's the motion I made.
So, Director Trout? Anybody want a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
All right. And discussion.
I don't know. And it's fine for me. But as we go on, if we expect quality people to run for the board, I don't know if that's high enough. It's all right now, but it's been set there for 4 or 5 years already. Like I said, I'm okay with it, but you know, you're asking people to give up some of their time. So in the future, that's a number that probably needs to move eventually. You know, it's very unpopular to vote yourself a raise. I get that, but it's still not super highly paid for the time that is put into it. So that's my soapbox.
Are you talking about the compensation?
Yeah.
I'll add something to that.
Okay.
I guess when I first ran for board, which was 4 years, whatever, last
On
year,
that road.
I didn't even know we got paid, because I feel opposite of Randy, like, if you truly have ties to it and good intentions, I would have done it for free. So I don't necessarily think we miss out on quality board members. And I understand the time, like, and effort that you put into mid-state, but I'm not certain I agree with extra compensation. I mean, I get it, it's a time commitment, but again, it's a position that you volunteer to run for. You know, it's not like you were appointed.
So we've always been getting paid for it up until the 2 years that I've been on it.
Just for that.
Yep, because we used to get $50 a meeting, so that counted as that. So this is, these last 2 years that I've been doing it, we haven't been getting paid. It's basically double what you do here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, like Randy said, that's his soapbox, that's fine, so that's just my whole opinion. To me, I just look at it as my. I'm the one who wanted to run for it and get on the committees and do my duty, but that's just. So there's my soapbox.
Yep.
I would have to agree on the 2,500, I think that's enough. I guess I too ran not expecting to get anything and it was never about the money to me. I think you wanna get people in that wanna make a difference for the kids and it's $2,500 can make or break them. Maybe it's not the right spot to be in. I do disagree a little, I do think the mid-state should be compensated if you have to attend that many meetings. So I think we're good with what we have currently set up in this new motion.
I would agree, as far as the compensation, I'm like Ellie, I didn't even know there was compensation when I ran. I had to get high quality people that wanna run. If it was $0, right, I mean, you have to wanna do this, you're not doing it for the money. When my first meeting I was on and looking at this going, oh, hey, look, there's gonna be $2,500. Nice little bonus, but, I came into it expecting 0, so. I'll be honest. I'd be fine if we cut it out completely. You know, they'd save the district $10,000 a year or more or whatever, but what's that? Yeah, 1,000, whatever, to 750, whatever. So. As far as your stipend, if you're fine with 500, I'm fine with that as well. I get it's a lot of time. But there's a lot of, you say it's twice what we do here, I would say. Somebody like treasurer, clerk, or other meetings, put in a lot of meetings as well. So I know there's some of those committees that put in. Probably
Yeah,
a lot of meetings for sure, you know what I mean?
A lot of meeting.
I get it, we are putting a lot of time in it, so if this kind of is what it is, but, I'm okay with the commission motion.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're good with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. You get all that, Andy?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so, the next one, we're looking to update the authorized signers, which is keeping everybody the same. So, somebody wants to make a motion to, because Bridget's already on there from the, was it last month or 2 months ago? Added on to all of that, and then keep the chair, the treasurer the same. To keep everything the same as, current.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Director Holm, thank you.
Second.
Second, Director Trout, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, setting of finance meeting time and dates. And Paul's meeting. So policy was on the, I'm assuming finance is on the 4th Wednesday. Is that correct?
Sounds
Okay.
Right.
Yes,
Do you think it would be better to pick the dates and times after who's on the committees, just because of the schedule or no?
well, so, we can, but I had put that under the consent agenda to just keep it all the same. Unless we want to change it, we can pull that and do that, but most of the time, the middle years, just like the other stuff, we keep all that stuff the same. And then, so basically you're on there for 2 years, and then when we get the next round of elected next year, then we'll change that or
Oh,
do all the actual things like that, but otherwise, you know, for each one of those. So that's really the question is, do you guys, is there anybody that really does not want to be on a committee or wants to change on a committee?
I do.
Okay,
I set for our hard stuff.
okay,
So, because I want to be a part of a negotiation committee, I'm gonna have to let go of policy.
okay,
We can't do
Okay,
Somebody, John.
no, that makes sense.
So I'm gonna have to say one who's possible.
Okay. So. Yeah, we can wait to assign those. And move 7 later in the agenda. Everybody's good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you just gotta remind me when we get there to,
Don't forget.
yep. Okay. Looking at appreciation, recognition and presentations, we have it tonight. Awesome. And recognition of citizens for input are none. So we get to come to you guys. Student board chair.
Hi. So we just finished up Christmas activities prior to break. That I would say that was a complete success. Everyone that was there seemed like they had fun. Cleanup wasn't too terrible. We're looking to put together a little gift basket for like the janitors or figure out something to get for them because they chip in a lot for us for student council and stuff. So moving into January, we don't have any events going on, so we're actually wondering if the elementary school would have something that we could partner with, or if there was a program you guys needed us to volunteer for or something. Moving into February, we're looking to set up a formal dance for high school students, based on a lot of student interest. Not sure how highly attended the juniors and seniors will be there because of prom, but still something to do. And then Valentine's Day stuff, which is the normal, so. Yeah. So is there anything that you can think of for like elementary that you guys do any activities in January that we could modify or something like that?
In January specifically, no,
Okay,
as we get back into it, our bell ringing is next Friday in the semester. And then that's just kind of in-house stuff.
Mhm.
But February is I live in Weimar. So, the different activities surrounding literacy reading, February would be a lot easier fit.
do you guys do a program where you send home a book with each family?
Yeah, we do that twice a year. We did one in December. We have another one coming up probably in February. And whether we can keep pre-K 12 or pre-K 5 kids to those to take.
I think that's it from us, unless anyone has any questions.
No, I know, I received feedback that the Christmas activities were a lot of fun, so thank you for that. That is awesome. All right, anybody else? Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for being here. Superintendent report.
Okay, a couple things I talked about back in July. One is the both legislative pension thing. So over the next 2 years, we can look at starting school before Labor Day. So that's one piece. And the reason I bring it up is we're the principal's been leading the charge on calendar development for next year, and then they've been doing that for a couple months now, but we met today and reviewed information on that, and we'll bring a proposal in February at the board meeting. But one of the key pieces is the early start recommendation, and that's going to be my recommendation to start September 1, and we'd be done May 28th. Another piece for legislative for this year is to have a cardiac emergency response plan. So we have to have that ready by July 1. And so we just discussed a little bit today, but we'll develop that here the next couple of months here, put that together. Have it ready? APAC, that's an acronym for American Indian Parents Committee that we're required to have. If we have 10 or more students in our district, we have 11. If you have 20 or more students, you get funding for that. No matter what, we have to fill out a program plan with 6 categories. And when you have less than 20, you don't get funding. But we still have to have a parent committee and get input and feedback. And eventually come, I think it's by March first, we have to have a vote of compliance by the parent committee. That we're doing things, lack of a better word, culturally equitable. And so we're planning a meeting, Manny, that we're gonna, to have a meeting January 20th. Hopefully we get at least one to show up. And then talk about some things there and get that signature, and then we'll bring it back to the February meeting. Getting the ball rolling again, I guess for next year is, Bridget and I'll start discussing budget planning process in the next week or so, and then we have a cabinet meeting in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about our procedure plan, those kind of things, and we'll meet with the cabinet. I'll meet with the directors and principals individually, look at and discuss their wants and needs, and then we'll try to match things up with potential budget projections. Then we'll talk about things like staff and programming, capital items, professional development. We discussed, the principals and I discussed this morning, and I talked to Chief McDonald as well. There is a training for school safety. It's at Sourcewell. They have 3 different options in February. We're gonna look at going to one of them, and that's on the active violence. And that's a table scenario type of discussion and planning, and hopefully it's springboard some other things, but we do need to keep working on our reunification planning for that stuff, so that it'll hopefully springboard some more ideas for that. Any questions for me?
Are you a part of the planning of the school calendar, or is that just principals?
Paper it can be, yeah.
I just wanted to add one suggestion to that process. And, I've heard a few parents suggest or think that the early out days would be maybe more beneficial if they were on Friday. I don't know if that would mess everything up, but I just wanted to bring it for consideration for future planning. If the calendar this year's too far along, it's too far along, but,
So we won't have early outs next year.
oh,
It's
is
not
it?
planned.
Okay.
Great.
Well, then I-
I'm asking questions because that,
Longer for
we did it for
Well,
the 2 years or
2 years.
read that.
Sure.
And that was it, I think.
And that's been our discussions to not continue.
Okay. All right, any questions for the superintendent? All right, business manager, welcome.
Thank you.
This is the real show now.
Yeah.
So I have my little chairs tossed at home, members of the board, superintendent part. My name is Bridget Merrill Mary. So I'm with creative planning, the business manager that took over a month ago. So I'm gonna go over the November financial reports. And we did meet as a finance committee a few weeks ago and also reviewed these. You can jump down to the executive summary. Perfect. So 1 page up. There we go. So this is my report that summarizes the balance sheet, statement of revenue and expenses, so high level. So I'm gonna go through this and then we'll walk through the report. And this is based on your original budget, which is what you guys approved last spring. So that original budget had an ADM of 916. The actual, I think this is in flux a little bit, and I know the mortgage coordinator is working on that, but the latest we had was this week 910 that we saw. The original budget is projecting a year-end surplus of 472,000, and that would get you guys to an ending fund balance of 4.1 million. So at the end of November, 41% of your fiscal year is complete. And then revenues and expenses, so it's just high level, good to compare that percent. And so you're at 40% with revenues and about 36% with expenses. And again, this is compared to your original budget. Cash balance was sitting at 4,160,000. Prior year state aid receivable. So this is looking at what the audit, last year's audit, so fiscal year 25. What was still expected from the state related to that year, so essentially your holdback. And so we've received all of that except for about 121,000. And we'll continue to see that fluctuate through June 30th because MDE can adjust those holdbacks through the end of this fiscal year. We estimate the current holdback that MDU is holding back is about 1.5 million right now for this year, and again, as we look to the revised budget, that will be adjusted as well with updated APM numbers. Your federal aids from last year, fully paid, so that, we've received all of that. And then this year, there's a little bit of federal aids that, have been spent that we haven't been reimbursed for, but we're working on that, so that's about 12,000. Salaries and benefits payable, so something, the way your teachers are paid, of course, over the summer for the work they did during the school year. And so that's something that we accrue for, just so it's not at the end of the year, you all of a sudden see a large sum when those teachers are paid. So I'll point that out when we get further down into the report, that is a line item in a couple different places that's estimated. Did note that the school did apply for and receive that cybersecurity grant from MDE in the amount of 50,000, so that is not in your original budget, but we'll add that to the revised. And then a couple lines over budget, and we'll make sure and look at that and adjust that with revised short-term leases, tech equipment. And then there was some food service equipment that was purchased due to I think a removal and replacement of cooler condensers, so we'll make sure and add that to the revised budget. And look to the next page. So the next two pages are graphs of basically showing you the budget. So the top one is the original budget and then year to date. The second graph is showing the breakdown of the revenues on the left and the expenses on the right. So the blue on the left shows you that primarily 75% approximately of the revenue is state, which is with all schools. And then on the right, you can see a larger breakdown of the salaries and benefits, of course, and then other areas of your expenses. Fund balance history, so this is something I pulled just the last 5 years, so you can see the historical fund balance, and then current year financial trends, so showing you revenues and expenses, and those are estimates through the earlier months, and then of course November I had actuals. And then the diagonal line is where we're at through the year, so 42% of the way through the year. We go to the next page. So then this is showing ADM or enrollment, and so like I said, that orange line is what we had at the time of the report, and we did give updated numbers. So the green is the budgeted, and then your actual is the orange line, so that's a little bit higher than what's shown there. And then enrollment history over the last 5 years. Then hop to the next page, which is your balance sheet. We've gone over quite a few of these numbers. This is just showing you your assets at the top, and then liabilities. So I did want to show that under the liabilities, you can see that there's that salaries and benefits summer payroll accrual estimate. And so that is what I'm estimating based on what you're paying your teachers, that you're going to pay them over the summer. And so that's the estimate on that. And as the year goes on, that will increase because the teachers will continue to work. So for example, if the teacher is done at the end of December, then they won't of course be accruing anything for the rest of the year. So as they work, that number will get higher. All right, we go to the statement of revenue and expenses. So this is this is all funds, a summary showing you on the top the revenues, budget compared to year-to-date actual, and then expenses. And you have the general and then the food service, community ed, debt service summary there as well. Hopping down your general fund revenues. So this is going to show you what we've received so far through the end of November. And you can see that some things are higher than others, and that's normal. MDE meters out their payments. It's not exactly you get 30% each, IDS payment of a certain thing. It's however they pay it out. And so don't be alarmed. You see zeros in some and a larger amount in others. Your federal revenues, like I mentioned, those do get fully reimbursed as we spend them. And then local revenues compared to your budget. So overall, general fund revenues are at that 41.6% compared to your original budget. The next page is quite a bit of detail of your general fund expenditures. We did go through this a little bit more at the finance committee. You can see that if there is anything that's closer to over budget, I've mentioned, we'll dig in and make sure we revise that with the revised budget. And I just want to point out that we also have those salary and benefit accrual estimates up under the general and then also under your state special ed, because there are, of course, teachers paid in different buckets. And so those are broken out. The next page shows you general fund summary. So this is basic revenues and expenses compared to your original budget. And then it also shows you your fund balance expended, percent of expenses. There in the middle of the screen, it's the general fund specifically is at 24%. That's what the original budget has it at. Fund 2, so you can see here that Fund 2 revenues are quite low, but I do know that the reimbursements have all been submitted through December as of this week, and so you'll see revenues flowing in that fund with next month's report, and then expenses, of course, you have your salary benefits and the food, and then you can see there the equipment line is over budget, and again, I mentioned that earlier with that replacement of the cooler and condenser, so we'll adjust that. Fund 4, so revenues flowing here, pretty much right on with 41%, and then expenses are at 38%. And then your debt service fund, that is of course a ton through levy and state aids and then the bond payments. So that is the overall financials. And then with that supplemental report that had the cash receipt detail, financial detail, I think we're saying so. Questions?
Well, thank you very much. Principals, I didn't forget you this time.
Chair's house at home, superintendent Park. There's your report. 3 short ones here. We received a resignation today. And we'll be posting a choir position for next year. We expect that we'll be able to fill that and hopefully be able to do it early enough where we get our best chance to build a candidate pool. The master schedule, we are almost done working on the master schedule for next year. We do it by committee. Myself, the counselor, and then we have teacher reps and all the departments come together and put the master schedule together. It is a bit like playing Tetris, and someone comes into the room and says, why don't you do this? And, you know, eventually you follow it down, and move number 6 disrupts the whole thing. You can't do that because you got to move a FIAD class here. We have 2 gyms and it requires 3 gyms to make that move. Those are the types of things that are constantly going on with it. Over the years, one of the best things we did was bring teachers into this committee. Now, instead of me defending it, with the teachers in the room, there's a collective group that knows how much goes into this and how much you really have to be careful on where you place things, making sure you have enough offerings for all 7 classes in all 8 periods of the day. There's just a lot of moving pieces with it. And so we are almost done. We have a few elective areas that we're still finalizing, a few class details, and then we should be done with the master schedule, which will then, after master scheduling, we'll get ready for registration and pre-registration in February, and we'll start registering kids for next year in March. And then we are finishing up first semester, January 16th. The week of the 16th is the end of first semester already. And so that gets busy with getting out report cards, scheduling the honors breakfasts, getting honor roll, all senior and graduation awards are based on end of first semester grades from senior year. So we start putting those things together, and yeah, we'll quickly start. We're going to have a graduation meeting here in the next few weeks already. So the year just zips, and so we're plowing ahead. Any questions for me?
With the schedule for students, did you give priority to CIS classes? My issue in the past was CIS classes were all stacked in the same hour, so it could only take a couple.
We've done everything we can to separate the CIS classes so we can maximize students' ability to hit multiple CIS courses. not always perfect because no one wants to go up against band. You know, you don't wanna put CIS courses up against band because everyone wants band and choir and they're the same period. So you have some of those, that's part of that game that we play with the schedule, but we did make a effort to not to schedule more than 2 FIAD teachers in the 2 gyms we have. And 2 is to make sure we split out the CIS courses, so students period by period can access as many of them as possible throughout the schedule.
All right, thanks, Roy.
Chair Austin Holm, members of the board, Superintendent Lepard, Tony Goodman, elementary principal, just a couple of things I have as well. We had a successful holiday season, a lot of celebrations, a lot of energy as we wrapped up December. And then broke for break. Now we're back here and we're hitting the ground running. And we were already in our Frostbridge window for winter. So over the next couple of weeks, we'll be working through those, doing our testing K-5. And then that kind of guides us into our what we're doing next for our interventions and the next part of the READ Act. So that's coming up. And a semester is next Friday, so we're gonna do our bell ringing Friday morning, and then have a fun activity day, again, still surrounding literacy and having fun. And then we have our second of 4 live sessions this year for our letters, for our K-12 SPED teachers, and then our elementary teachers. And we're working through that as well. And the last thing I have here is before the next school board meeting is we have kindergarten information night already coming up, and that is going to be Tuesday, February 3rd in the cafetorium. And that'll have more information on the families here shortly. Any questions?
Yeah, are we keeping track of the letters training that nobody's falling behind?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, I've got a dashboard so I can check
Yeah.
the progress and.
You know, because somebody's flailing and
Yeah.
feeling like it's overwhelming.
Yeah, and that's where they're working in those POC groups, holding each other accountable. I can see how long they take on a unit, I can see what percentage they are within the unit. And then nudge them along if they need to be.
Yeah.
The nice thing is that last year we didn't have anybody that fell below the 80% threshold. And with the end of year assessments, nobody fell behind that 80%, so they're able to keep up. And with these early outs, it's been critical to help, and this PLC mornings on Wednesdays has been critical to help them continue to stay on pace.
Okay.
Great, anything else? Yeah. All right, thank you. All right, consent agenda approval. So I will, the board will be consenting to, everything that's in the agenda here unless somebody wants to pull something. So we'll start with pulling the policy and finance committee. From this. So that would mean, does anybody have anything else to pull? We know of yet? Okay. So with the consent agenda approval, making a motion would approve the regular board meeting minutes, special board meeting minutes, claims and notes of financials, 9-month non-union agreement, 12-month non-union agreement, the investment of funds to stay the same, fund transfer to stay the same, same official newspaper, legal counsel, representative and committee members, minus, the finance committee and the policy committee. I just want to make sure. And the approval of final policy readings. So all of these 208, 415, 520, 606, 609, and 612 were all statute updates and not substantial updates. They're all second policy reading for final. Does somebody want to make a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion.
Director Holm, thank you.
I'll second it.
Director Hackett, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? motion carries. So we will go to. Let's see. 11J3 is policy, so. Director Andrews, myself, and Director Trout is on there. Director Trout wants to come up there.
Right.
So we have one, would somebody like to, come on to the policy committee? And we could stick with two if that's all that wants to and has time to do that. Any nominations? Nope, okay, so we will just take, Director Trout off of that. So I will make that motion to policy committee will just be, Director Andrews and myself, for now. Oh, okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Director Hackett, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next one is 11J7. So Maria, you're good on this one?
Yeah.
Are there any changes to this one?
I would like to remove this.
What's that?
I would like to remove this.
Take it off? Okay. Does anybody else want to go on to the finance committee? Any nomination? Well, there's plenty of nomination, but sure, then nobody. Okay, we'll go with that. Let's take a look at that next year and see if we go back to 3 or stay at 2. And we'll have a couple of, well, the possibility of a new board, at that point. So, all right, so I'll make a motion to, have, 2 members of Director Trout and Director Holm for the finance committee.
What's that,
Director Hackett. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, then we want to go back to, all right, so for policy. John, 4th Wednesday, does, would 3 PM work for you guys versus 2 PM? Or not?
Well, that gets a little tougher.
Okay. Oh,
I
after
think
school.
it's out to bus at
Yep.
45.
Okay.
Unless we're gonna be fast with that policy.
Right. Yeah, which always happens.
Right.
Okay. So 2 PM on the 4th Wednesday? Perfect. Okay. Does that mean you're making a motion for that?
Yes, I'll make a
Okay,
motion.
Director Andrews, thank you. I can second that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Finance committee meeting. Dates and times for, Director Trout, Director Holm.
That slot works for me, and with data, I'm responsible. So
Okay,
whatever works.
4th Wednesday at noon.
I like that 2 weeks ahead of the work.
Yep. All right, so that was a motion, Director Trout?
Yep.
All right, thank you. I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you all. Going down to number 12. Approval of combined polling places resolution. I think this one I have to read, don't I?
Is it a resolution?
It is.
I don't think so.
Well, we can do it with waiving the reading.
Let's just read it so that we don't have to come back and do it next time.
All right, does somebody wanna,
Wait, Ally might lead the meeting next month.
does somebody want to move this resolution for adoption? So move. All right, Director Hackett. All right, so be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District number 485, state of Minnesota as follows. Pursuant to Minnesota statutes, section 205A.11, the precincts and polling places for the school district elections are those precincts or parts of precincts located within the boundaries of the school district, which have been established by the cities or towns located in whole or in part within the school district. Board hereby confirms those precincts and polling places so established by those municipalities. Pursuant to Minnesota statute section 205A.11, board may establish a combined polling place for several precincts for school district elections not held on the day of the statewide election. Each combined polling place must be a polling place that has been designated for use as a polling place by a county or municipality. Following combined polling places are established to serve precincts specified for all school district special and general elections not held on the same day as a statewide election in the calendar year following the adoption of this resolution. So Royalton City Center, 12 Birch Street, North, Royalton, Minnesota. This combined polling place serves all territory in independent school district number 45, located in Bellevue Township, Buckman Township, Morrill Township, Swan River, Two Rivers, Morrison County, Graham Township, Langola Township, Benton County, and Brockway Township, Stearns County, and City of Royalton and City of Bolas in Morrison County, Minnesota. Pursuant to Minnesota statute section 205A.09, polling places will remain open for voting for school district elections not held on the same day as a statewide election between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. Clerk is directed to file a certified copy of this resolution with the county auditors of each of the counties in which the school district is located in the whole or in part within 30 days after its adoption. As required by Minnesota statute section 204B.16 subdivision 1A, the clerk is hereby authorized directed to give written notice of new polling place locations to the effect of the household with at least one registered voter in the school district whose school district polling place location has been changed. Notice must be a non-forwardable notice mailed at least 25 days before the date of the first election to which it will apply. Notice that is returned as undeliverable must be forwarded immediately to the appropriate county auditor, who shall change the registrant's status to challenged in the nationwide registration system. All right. So the motion was introduced by Director Hackett. Does somebody want to second that?
I'll second.
Director Holm, thank you. All right, and Director Andrews, you want to call the roll?
Director Trump.
Aye.
Director Hackett.
Aye.
Director Holm.
Aye.
Director Boyd. Aye. Director Andrews. Aye. Director Hofstad.
Aye. All right. And no one voted against, no one abstained, so it is approved. This 7th day of January 2026. Thank you. All right, the approval of the reduction resolution. Somebody want to introduce this? Or Director Hackett? All right, so the resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and the reasons therefore, if the financial condition of the school district indicates that the school board may need to reduce expenditures, whereas there may be a reduction in student enrollment, and this reduction in the expenditure and decrease in student enrollment may include discontinuance of positions and discontinuance or curtailment of programs. Whereas a determination must be made as to which teachers' contracts may be terminated and not renewed, and which teachers may be placed on unrequested leave of absence without pay or fringe benefits and affecting discontinuance of positions. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District number 45 as follows. That the school board hereby directs the superintendent of schools and administration to consider the discontinuance of programs or positions to effectuate economies in the school district and reduce expenditures. And as a result of a reduction in enrollment, make recommendations to the school board for discontinuance of programs, curtailment of programs, discontinuance of positions, or curtailment of positions. The motion for adoption is seconded by
I'll second it.
Director Holm. Thank you. And Director Andrews, if we call the roll.
Director Trump.
Aye.
Director Hackett.
Aye.
Director Holm.
Aye.
Director Boyd.
Aye.
Director Andrews. Aye. Director Hofstad.
Aye. All right. And nobody voted against and nobody abstained, so that is approved 7th day of January 2026. All right, next. Implement weather options.
Yeah.
Isn't that up to Mother Nature? We don't get to decide.
Great.
Do the time zone thing, it's not a. Like move out.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually, that'd be a mess, wouldn't it?
Okay.
How's it working now? I mean, at 5:30 in the morning, and
It's fine for me, other than a little bit of lack of sleep once in a while.
right. I guess, what are the options? What are we talking about doing?
I don't know, did you talk about this at the, I thought.
This was
like,
for board meetings.
It was a board meeting?
Oh.
I was in a training that's where they suggested that if like there's bad weather, if you put on your agenda or on the meeting notice that if there's bad weather and it gets canceled, you'll hold it at the same time the next day.
Oh.
Then you don't have to follow the 3-day meeting.
That's what happens, yeah. I remember talking about it, couldn't remember what that was. Yeah, so that's the question is, do we want to put that out there as a disclaimer, to happen right away or not?
And just put that on every agenda?
It would be. Okay. However, that means you'd also have to show up the next night. So depending on what sports or whatever's going on that night, you know, that's the only issue that I kind of have with it. I like being able to say, hey, we have to wait 3 days, but you know, if that's the case, then we can post it and it'll be 3 days later or 4 days later or the next week. And give you some time to plan. Otherwise, it takes away that ability to do that if we make it the next night, unless we think the next night those Tuesday nights will always work. At least those afterwards.
Kind of clunky, but there is the possibility of doing virtual on those nights within the voters. Different protocol, I have.
Yeah, it's all a possibility, so just looking for feedback.
Has it ever happened before that we had to cancel it?
Once in the last 5 years. For me anyway. You already,
When I remember that one.
How'd you guys handle it that time?
just moved it to the next week. Which was good, because it was like a 3-day thing.
Yeah, it was like the first day of the, yeah, that,
If push it to the next day, you could have bad snowstorm or something the following day, then push it to the next day, push it to the next day. It could, if it falls on a Friday night, the last bad day, then you have to have it on Saturday, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I think keeping it the way we have it, where you can discuss it and move it to the next week or 3 days later or whatever.
I would agree, makes life easier to adjust then and plan for.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm fine with that too.
great,
All good.
awesome. All right. Do you want a motion on that? Okay, I didn't think so. Just wanted to make sure. Donations by resolution. Does somebody wanna introduce this resolution and waive the reading? All right, Director Trout, thank you. So I'll start by saying, I skipped my comments this morning, or this evening. But $14,840 in donations again. And going to the care closet, trap shooting, and the football field. So awesome community support, and thank you very much for that. Does somebody want to second the approval of the donation?
I'll second it.
Director Holm, thank you. All right, and Director Andrews, do you want to call the roll?
Director Trump,
Aye.
Director Hackett,
aye,
Director Holm,
Aye.
Director Boyd,
Aye.
Director Andrew, Director Haas.
Aye. All right, and nobody opposed and nobody abstained. So, thank you. Again, thank you to all those that donate to that. So we don't have anything for a first policy reading. We will take a look at just a couple of things coming up. So January 28th, for upcoming meetings. Noon for the finance, are we keeping that online? We're doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, yep, and that's just fine. And then 2 p.m. policy here. And then we're either be done before the buses or after, one of the two.
We'll leave it.
For that. All right. Are we closing? Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, anything else before we close? All right. Somebody want to make a motion to close the open meeting at 7 p.m. I'll second it. Director Hackett, thank you. In accordance with 13D.03 for negotiation strategies. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Opposed and you 5 minute recess.